This is Vikings, a new era, NFL Combine Special.
We've been teasing this segment for the entire special, but it's something that I'm really looking forward to. It's your fan questions. We asked you if you had any Combine, NFL offseasons, Vikings-related questions for Hobie, and now he's on the hot seat.
Oh, my goodness.
There were some good ones, Hobie.
There were.
Let's kick it off with this first one from Tay. She says, do you think the Vikings go cornerback or offensive guard first in the draft?
Oh, that is a good question. And we looked at some of those corners earlier whenever you're talking Sauce Gardner and Derek Stingley Jr. If one of those two are there, you just have to go for them, because who else do the Vikings have at cornerback right now to really make an impact on the roster? Sauce is a guy who you put him in right away and he can make an impact. Derek Stingley Jr., I guess time will tell, since he has missed time in the last 2 seasons at LSU. But whenever you look at the offensive line right now, the only guy I see that really jumps out to validate maybe the number 12 overall pick is Tyler Linderbaum out of Iowa. He is a center. He really can hold his anchor, and he can get downfield whenever it comes to the run game too. But that also brings up another question. What would the Vikings do with Garrett Bradbury? Would he move to guard and Linderbaum could take over at center? But that is a great question as to what the Vikings could do. Those are 2 options.
And we know just how valuable an offensive line is when you've got a guy like Kirk Cousins in the backfield. And that is where our next fan question comes from. Tim Segla says Cousins is the most talked about Vikings right now. He asks, what is the most realistic outcome, trade, extension, or playing out the last year of his contract?
Trade, I would take that off of the table right now, because I'll ask another question. If not Kirk Cousins, who? Because this offense was very successful last year. Maybe not on third down. That will be an area that they will need to focus on. As for extension, get to that a little bit down the road, because right now with a new head coach and a new GM, you need a good quarterback, because this is a franchise that said all offseason long they expect to be competitive. In today's NFL, what do you need? Good quarterback play. And don't you think that maybe you want to pair Kirk Cousins with a guy he has previous experience with, and a guy who has an offensive mind who says they would like to build things for their quarterback? I would say worry about right now in 2022 with Kirk Cousins being the quarterback of the Purple, because he does give this team the best chance to win in 2022.
Now, another name that has been coming up as someone that's a bit of a hot topic is Danielle Hunter. And our friend Janet submitted a question. What do you do with Hunter? Last 2 years of major injuries. Do you save money on the cap and trade him for a draft pick?
Have you seen the defense without Danielle Hunter the last 2 seasons?
Yes, I have.
2020 was a mess, especially whenever it came to getting after the quarterback. Last year, Danielle Hunter played 7 games. He had 6 sacks. That was the leader up until the very end of the season, whenever DJ Wanham took that spot over with his 8 sacks. Look, Danielle Hunter, he's already a talked about piece, and he is a very talented player. Ed Donatel also said, the Vikings' new defensive coordinator, he would like to see him at kind of that rush edge type position whenever it comes to getting after the quarterback, because Hunter not only helps the defensive line, he helps the linebackers, and he also helps out the secondary, which clearly they could have used in the last 2 seasons. The big question, can he stay healthy?
Well, if we didn't get to your fan question, be sure to tune into the Vikings Entertainment Network as we release a new Pick 6 mailbag on Tuesday. You can submit your questions on Twitter at me, Tatum Everett.
Well, a new era continues for the Minnesota Vikings, and that'll do it for our NFL Combine special. Along with Tatum Everett, I'm Hobie Artigue. We'll see you later as NFL free agency gets set to kick off in a few weeks before the NFL draft at the end of April.